Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Episode 5, Partings. This is directed by Wayne Yip, written by John D. Payne and Patrick McKay, based on the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien. In this episode, a quick synopsis. Nori questions her instincts. Elrond struggles to stay true to his oath. Halbrand weighs in his destiny. Halbrand weighs his destiny, and these Southlanders brace for attack. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on. This episode really feels like it's setting up a lot of really cool stuff. Real quick, let me go over the cast one more time. Morpheus Clark as Galadriel. We have Markella Kavanagh as Nori Brandyfoot. Robert Aramayo as Elrond. Ismael Cruz Cordoba as Arendir. Cynthia Adai Robinson as Queen Regent Muriel. And Lloyd Owen as Captain Elendil. There's a very expansive cast, but I think those are what I would call our protagonists on each of the stories. Um, so let's just kind of go in order from the synopsis and touch on some of the highlights and some of the stuff. Overall, this episode really sets up a lot of really cool stuff. First of all, we get to see the Harfoot again, which was great. I am very interested in learning more about this stranger, what they can do. There's a really cool sequence with the Harfoot and the stranger that happens here, um, because as the stranger is learning how to be in this world, learning about peril, Peril finds the Harfoot. So really cool stuff. I just love the relationship and just the mystery of really what the stranger represents. I know there's a lot of really cool theories out there on the internet, and I just love seeing them all. So very interesting to see where this pays off and where this goes and how it pays off. Next, Elrond struggles to stay true to his oath. So, yep, Elrond is his main struggle is because he both values his friendship, but he's also got a duty to his people, right? The elves. Once again, I think my favorite part of this story is just I always enjoy in the Lord of the Rings, and just any Lord of the Rings stuff, the relationship between the dwarves and the elves. They are so cheeky with each other, and it's almost to the point where you're like, do they even like each other? I feel like there's a respect there at some point. At least, I don't know. It's hard to tell. The elves will sometimes seem very stuck up, so it's really hard to tell. But the elves have come to this point where they will really need the help of the dwarves, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they respond. So really interesting stuff there. Let's jump to the Southlanders before we go into Numenor. Uh, all the stuff that's happening for the Southlanders. Although I love uh, Arendir, I think Arendir has given us one of the best battle sequences as we follow his character throughout this story. In this case, it was really. Uh, it felt like a lot of setup. I know a big complaint I've seen for the show online is that it's very decompressed, very slowly paced. Um, it really feels like you're just reading one chapter of a book a week. And I overall I like that because I need time to process all this stuff. I need a full week to understand all the things that go on. I like, watching an episode, going online, seeing what people have to say about it, people explaining what really happened. All that stuff is really cool. I really enjoy that experience. But I think if you are somebody that is very quick to understand a lot of these themes, this show's going to pay off better if you actually binge it, which I think I've said before on the channel. I'm not usually a binger, but I think some of these people might benefit from just getting all of the show at once. So I don't know. Let us know in the comment if that's one of you. So yeah, a lot of setup there with the Southlanders. Not really my preferred story, even though I really love the character of Aaron there. I'm not really connected on that story for this episode. It's been really cool. We've gotten some really interesting introductions. We've seen some really cool monsters, and of course, we see orcs, which is always a danger. So, next up, everything that's going on at Numenor, I am fascinated. I love the character of Galadriel. I love the character of Captain Elendil and his family and dealing with that. There's a really interesting sequence where Isnail, I think it's his name, the captain's son, he has a really interesting relationship with his friends, and now as they try to embark on this journey, it really needs to be all hands on deck, but we don't know who's gonna make it on deck, and just Galadriel, the tension between some of these people that still hate elves and don't believe that they should listen or help them. I really love that tension. But Galadriel is just such a badass. Like she stands her ground. She knows what she's about. So she's definitely gonna make things happen one way or another. But we do see some of that dissent of like people that don't want to help the elves, don't want to be involved with any of that stuff. Really interesting. Just overall seeing. I mean, it reflects a lot of real life events in multiple eras, really. So I really quite enjoy that. Yeah, this show continues to be very, very good. I have a lot of fun with it. I love waiting. I love waking up Friday mornings and just getting to watch the show. So let me know what you think. There's a lot of really good television out there. We have reviews for the first 3 episodes of Andor. We have review for the latest episode of House of the Dragon. Reviews for a bunch of comics that came out this week. A lot of stuff coming out next week. We might drop a few movie reviews this weekend, depending on the schedule. But let us know. Go check out our last live too, where we talk all about Thor: Love and Thunder. Uh, much content on the channel. So make sure to subscribe. Stay tuned. Anime month's coming in October. I can't wait. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.